The bell above the diner door chimed softly every time someone walked in, a fragile, hopeful sound that somehow survived the grease-stained floors and cracked leather booths of Rosewood Cafe. It was past midnight, the kind of hour when regrets are louder than conversations and tips are thinner than patience. Lena, a 22-year-old waitress with tired eyes and a spine forged from hardship, moved between tables with quiet efficiency. She wore a simple apron, her dark hair tied back, her smile polite but never forced. She had learned early that life didn't soften for tears, it only sharpened its edges. That night, as rain streaked the windows and thunder rolled like distant artillery, the diner door swung open and a man stepped inside who did not belong to this world of chipped mugs and reheated coffee. He wore a tailored black coat that seemed too expensive for the neighborhood, his presence heavy, deliberate. The air shifted when he walked in. Conversations dulled. Even the cook peeked through the kitchen hatch with nervous curiosity. Lena approached him the same way she approached everyone else, calm, composed, carrying a menu like it was armor. "Good evening, sir," she said, her voice steady. The man studied her with eyes that had seen too much and trusted too little. He was known in the city's underbelly as Viktor Volkov, a mafia boss whose name alone was enough to close businesses and silence rivals. But here, he was simply another customer. "Coffee," he said. No smile. No warmth. Lena nodded and poured his drink without trembling. She didn't know who he was, not exactly, but she recognized danger the way a sailor recognizes a coming storm. She had grown up with a father who gambled away rent money and creditors who banged on doors at midnight. Fear was familiar, but she had made a decision long ago that it would never rule her. The door suddenly burst open again, but this time the chime was drowned by shouting. Two masked men stormed inside, guns raised, voices frantic and unsteady. "Nobody move," one yelled, his hands shaking more than the weapon itself. Plates crashed. A woman screamed. The cook ducked. One robber began emptying the register while the other scanned the room wildly, adrenaline dripping from every motion. Lena froze for half a second, just long enough to inhale, and then something extraordinary happened. She remained calm. Not the frozen calm of fear, but the anchored calm of someone who refuses to let chaos steal her center. She slowly raised her hands, her eyes soft, not challenging. When one robber grabbed her arm and demanded to know where the safe was, she didn't argue or cry. She spoke gently. "It's in the back office. I'll show you. No one needs to get hurt." Her voice was steady enough that even the robber blinked in confusion. Meanwhile, Victor watched. He had seen men beg for their lives. He had seen rivals plead, scream, curse. He had built an empire on intimidation. But this girl, this waitress with nothing, was unshaken. When a child at one table began sobbing uncontrollably, Lena subtly broke free from the robber's grip for just a moment and said softly, "It's okay. Keep your eyes on me. Breathe with me." And unbelievably, the child listened. Even the robber hesitated, as if unsure how to dominate someone who refused to panic. Victor leaned back in his booth, his expression unreadable. Something stirred in him, not weakness, not pity, something unfamiliar. Respect. The robbery escalated when one gun accidentally discharged into the ceiling. Dust rained down. The robbers grew more frantic, their plan unraveling. In that fragile moment, Lena stepped between them and the trembling customers. "You have the money," she said gently. "You can leave now. No one followed you. No alarms." It was a risk. A terrifying one. But her tone carried authority without aggression. The robbers exchanged a glance, then bolted, disappearing into the storm-soaked night. Silence swallowed the diner. Shaking hands lowered. Someone began to cry again, but this time in relief. Lena exhaled slowly, then immediately began checking on customers as if it had only been a spilled drink. "Is everyone all right? Are you hurt?" Her priority wasn't herself. It was everyone else. Victor stood up slowly. He approached her, towering but strangely subdued. "You weren't afraid," he said quietly. Lena met his gaze. "I was," she replied. "But fear doesn't get to make decisions for me." That answer landed somewhere deep inside him, somewhere he had buried under years of crime, power, and cold survival. He studied her face, no arrogance, no demand for praise. Just sincerity. He left a stack of cash on the table, far more than the bill, and walked toward the door. Before stepping out, he paused. "What's your name?" "Lena." He nodded once. "You're stronger than you know." Then he disappeared into the night, leaving behind more than money, leaving behind a question that would not stop echoing in his mind: how could someone with so little possess so much courage? And as Lena cleaned shattered glass from the floor, unaware of the impact she had just made, destiny quietly shifted its course. Sometimes, strength doesn't roar. Sometimes, it stands still in the middle of chaos and refuses to break.